Alright. Let's see what's going on with the rest of this conference. We've, who's this? There's Commissioner Pierre. Huh. There's Commissioner. Missing. Where's Dudley? How are you and your men faring, Captain Grant? Just fine. Everyone's on standby and instructed to be on high alert. They're used to being ready for the emergency at any moment. I suppose they would be. That's reassuring. Let's go over how the force will be deployed for the second half of the conference. Huh. What's this? How many times must we tell you, the press is not allowed past here? Isn't it intermission right now, though? Can't you just, somehow... We promise we only want to take photos. They won't even know we're there. That's right, I can't let Grace down. Please let us through. Persistent as ever. Good luck trying to tell a reporter where they can and can't go. Well, as long as no one is trying to physically force their way through, they're not breaking any rules. I guess so. This is all just part of being a member of the press, right? Maybe, but it is inconvenient for us. So much for using the elevators. Is that Arios and Kilika? I believe so. What could they be talking about? It's almost been a year since you left the guild. Have you adjusted to your new job? More or less. I've had to get used to working much harder than I did while I was with the guild. So it seems. How has Shizuku been? As cheerful as ever, though her hearing is almost too good sometimes. I've been blessed to see her more often recently. To laugh with her too. It's good to hear. It's already been 5 years since Saya's passing, hasn't it? And 6 years since we first met. That's right, 6 years. You and Saya met completely by chance when you came to Crossbell while wandering the continent. She insisted you stay with our family while in town, no matter how much you tried to refuse, didn't she? I never expected to see you working for the guild in Libro 3 years later. The goddess works in mysterious ways. You never know how connections between people may turn out. I'll never forget the hospitality the two of you showed me back then. I only regret that I was unable to return the favor to her. Don't dwell on it. The fact you remember to this day would be more than enough for Saya. It sounds like those two knew each other before they met through the guild. So it would seem, but I think it would be rude to listen in any further. I agree, we should leave before we interrupt them. Huh. Am I allowed to go in here? Oh, what are you doing? I suppose it is a nice view. There's absolutely no way terrorists will be flying in these skies. Absurd. There's simply no way that could happen. You don't sound very convincing. Also sounds like you know something. Oh, excuse me. Oh. What do you know? The elevator has arrived. How about that? Please, after you. No, I couldn't. You go ahead. It's quite alright. I promise you, I'm in no particular hurry. I insist. You were here first. What's up, Lloyd? Look at those two soldiers by the elevator. Are they trying to negotiate who rides the elevator first? This is kind of awkward to watch. Look at them go, like an awkward couple on an anniversary festival date. We do not have to necessarily use an elevator, you know. You're right. Huh. That's... Oh, Lecter and Claudia. So that's what happened. Oh, Lucy. Yep, I was only in Rimiferi on business too. Guess she caught wind. I tried to run, but she caught me. Dang, she's gotten better. You realize how many bonks over the head she gave me? 0. She hugged you and cried, didn't she? Dang it. I know exactly how Lucy feels, you know. She's probably well aware of just how dangerous your day-to-day is, and has been worried sick. Man, why do perceptive women gotta be so scary? I never know how to handle them. Maybe, but you brought it upon yourself. This really does take me back. It's been so long since I've seen Leo, too. I'd love for all of us to have a reunion. Oh, have a look, Lecter. Isn't this when you say, yeah, let's all have a bash at Michelin and party till we drop? You got me. No promises, but I'll see what I can do. Just don't hold your breath, you know? I know. I'll still be looking forward to it. I should be going. If you'll please excuse me. No prob. And hey, don't forget to say hi to Sieg for me. I still owe him that salami. Huh. Damn, she's really grown up. She's become the ideal crown princess. You guys think so too, right? Busted. Sorry, we didn't mean to eavesdrop. It was a happy accident. Was it? You seem very curious about their relationship, Ellie. Tio! She ain't the only one. You and the princess sure seem close. What's the story? I was her senior back in school. Prep. I mean, not Sunday school. Genus Royal Academy, to be specific. Genus Royal Academy. Isn't that a prestigious school in Libro? That's right. It's true they accept students from abroad, but... Did you study there on Imperial taxpayer money? Nah, old man Gilead paid my tuition out of pocket. Well, it's about time I hit the old dusty trail myself. Oh, that reminds me. You got called in to talk to the head honchos, right? They're both real pains in the ass to deal with, so good luck in there. What? Could he be any more sketchy if you tried? Who'd have thought the next queen of Libro went to school with an imperial spy? Truth is stranger than fiction, as they say. No matter how you put it, we can't forget that he's a subordinate of the Blood and Iron Chancellor. As for what he's after personally, I think we'll have to figure out that for ourselves. He does seem like he's an... I saw Princess Claudia a few moments ago. I knew she'd be here, but I could hardly believe my eyes. Being so close to all these dignitaries is kind of amazing. I don't think I could live with the shame of letting them down today. That's reason enough to stay sharp. This is the room of His Lordship, Prince Albert. Speaker McDowell is currently visiting with His Lordship. However, I've been instructed to let you pass. You may enter if you'd like. You're the SSS, correct? Princess Claudia instructed me to let you pass. Feel free to enter if you'd like to visit. I've been waiting for you. You're the Crossbow Police Department Special Support Section, right? We are. Is this the President's room? Yes, I've been told to let you pass. Please enter and mind your manners. Alright, please excuse us. This man is the President of Calvard, one of the continent's 2 largest nations. Sure is, even I've got butterflies in my stomach. Excuse us, Mr. President. Thank you for requesting to meet with the Special Support Section. Thank you all for coming. Please sit down. No need to feel anxious, ladies and gentlemen. Right. Gladly. Are you all surprised I called you here? Where are my manners? Allow me to apologize for taking up your precious time. I imagine you must be very busy. You don't have to apologize to us. That's right. It's an honor to have been invited. You're Speaker McDowell's granddaughter, isn't that right? We met once before at a celebration of some kind, if I remember correctly. That's right. We spoke once when I had the opportunity to visit Calvard with my grandfather. It was 2 years ago. Ah, yes, now I remember. And then, just earlier this year, your grandfather chose to not seek re-election and became the Speaker. I truly admire how passionate he still is at his age. He's a model statesman, if I may say so. I'm sure grandfather would be flattered to hear that. By the way, Mr. President, what was it you called us here for? Truth be told, I've heard all about you lot from Killiga. This year's Swords auction sounded like quite the event, am I right? Frankly, former Speaker Hartman and I were never on good terms. And selfishly, I've been eager to meet the police team that tipped the first dominoes that led to his downfall. We're honored, sir. Yeah, but honestly, the dude had it coming. He ain't got no one to blame but himself. And that is true. He made his bed the day he became involved with the cult. Ah, of course, I know of them too. The DG cult, their treachery spread across the entire continent, but no country was more affected than my own. I owe you my thanks for putting a stop to them once and for all. You're welcome, but really, we were only doing our jobs. And we weren't alone either. Several others supported us and made sure we solved that crisis in one piece. No need to be so humble, my boy. I heard things were rather dire. Even your Guardian force was being manipulated. And talk about an uphill battle, yet you guys still managed to overcome it all and protect a little girl and squash the cult. Good goddess, those are no small achievements, lads. Wow, you flatter us, Mr. President. Truly, thank you for such high praise. Honestly, had Crossbell fallen to the cult, I don't know what we would have done. If they had taken hold of the IBC, that would have brought international trade and finance to a halt. Such a thing would have had severe consequences for our economy. That's true. All the more reason, I'd like to acknowledge your valor. I think the fitting thing to do would be to award you each a medal. Yes, that sounds perfect. As soon as I return to the public, I'll have the arrangements made. No, that's not necessary. Is it appropriate for citizens of Crossbell to receive rewards from Republican government? Besides, we already got plenty of recognition back in May from Old Man McDowell. Truly, I don't think there's anything inappropriate about it at all. Their troubles are our own as well. After all, the Republic holds suzerainty over Crossbell. Mr. President, there's no need for the long faces of the glares. And there's a group, boys and girls. You received an invitation from our pal, the Blood and Iron Chancellor, too, did you not? I'd be delighted to speak with you all more, but I think my turn is over. And not to fear, I'll see to it that you receive those awards we spoke of. Please look forward to it. Interesting. Thank you for coming. I believe you were called by Chancellor Osborne too. You can find his room in the opposite wing. Thanks. We appreciate your help. You're welcome. Farewell. He was something, wasn't he? Exactly what I expected from the leader. Exactly what I expected from the leader of such a large country. Capable and devilishly cunning. Could you at least wait until we're not standing in front of his room, Wazzy? Yes, but he is not wrong. I do not think he was intentionally trying to put pressure on us, but he managed to either way. I think he was trying to keep up appearances. As Calvar's president, it would be good publicity to honor the ones who were credited with ending the cult incident. Except Crossbell's troubles are theirs as well, which reaffirms that he sees Calvard as Crossbell's owners. Man, you sure that making that clear wasn't his whole reason for calling us in there? These major power leaders got egos as wide as their country's borders. Without a doubt, even Diet members from an autonomous state like this have nothing on them. We still have to speak with the Chancellor. What could that be about? I'm not sure what he's going to say, but I do know that we need to steel ourselves before we meet with him. May I ask you something, Sieg? How do you think Grandmother would respond if she were here? You have a point. I can't help but be who I am. Oh, hello, SSS. Sorry for interrupting, Your Highness. Don't concern yourselves with it. I was merely thinking aloud. I'm glad you're here, to be honest. You are, Your Highness. Are you also ruminating over what could happen during the second half of the conference? There's that specifically, but I was thinking a tad broader. As Crown Princess, I have some knowledge in the area of diplomatic negotiations. To be a good negotiator, you need several skills, such as insight, judgment, and objectivity. The first half of the conference made me painfully aware that I still have room for growth in those areas. So that is what is bothering you. Give yourself some credit. Knowing where you can improve is half the battle. That's right, and you're still only as old as Lloyd, Ellie, and me, Your Highness. You're an inspiration, if you ask me. Do you think so? That's very kind of you. Still, being timid in a room like that is unavoidable at this stage in my career. The continent's troubles won't wait for me to catch up in experience. I'll have to gain it slowly and take everything in stride as I do. That's a good way to approach it. Just don't forget to kick back and relax every now and then. Cut loose a little. Right now, for example, it's your break time, isn't it? Lonzy, I swear to Adios if you're thinking of inviting her out for a drink right now. It's okay, Lloyd. I appreciate he doesn't feel the need to force formality. It's relaxing, actually. Now that I think about it, perhaps nostalgic is a better word. I'm around of all of you. I feel like I'm speaking with Estelle and Joshua and all our other friends. You do? That might be giving us too much credit. Not at all. It's also customary for friends to treat each other. Would you all care for some tea? No, we couldn't possibly. As much as I would love to, there is somewhere else we have to be. My apologies. I should have considered that. I won't keep you any longer. Please be careful today, everyone. I'll be rooting for you. And rest assured that I'll be giving the second half of the conference my utmost. We'll be rooting for you too. We're out of deliberations, but I can still feel the fatigue from facing down Osborne and Rocksmith. That may be, however, don't sell yourself short, your lordship. Your predecessors would be proud of how you handled yourself. It's been 5 years since I ascended to the throne. Domestic order has finally been secured, but I have much to learn as a statesman. Oh, look who it is. Thank you again for all of your help yesterday. Good afternoon, Special Support Section. Pardon our interruption. Yes, I recall you being added to today's security detail. It's my understanding that you once even saved Speaker McDowell's life. I trust we're in good hands. I think you may be expecting a little too much of us. Not at all. I share the sentiment that it's reassuring to have you here. We have the peace of mind to focus on ourselves on the second half of the conference. About that, do you expect things to become problematic, Grandfather? I do. Unlike the first half, I suspect the faults of Crossbow State will be put in the spotlight one after another. I imagine the major powers will be as demanding as ever. However, I'm also concerned about Dieter. During our latest diet session, he was enthusiastic to introduce radical ideas. That drive comes with youth. I do respect that enthusiasm. However, I'm worried where that direction could take us. What direction that could take us today. I hadn't thought about it that way. Mr. Groomwood alluded to Mayor Cross as having some kind of plan for the second half of the conference. I don't know the details myself, but I'm sure he'll bring it to the table sooner or later. The direction of the conference will determine whether this plan brings good or bad fortune. Isn't that right, Speaker? Precisely. As Speaker, I have a duty to be the Mayor's ally during the trade conference. I'm in a difficult position, but I'll do what I can to support Dieter. Good luck, Grandfather. I'll be rooting for you. Good to see you again, SSS. Mind giving us a status report? Nothing to report for now. How about the two of you? Have you learned anything? Unfortunately not. Things have been quiet. The Empire is exhausting all avenues as well. No leads have come in from either of the Reformist faction or the Noble faction. That's unfortunate. Nada from both major Imperial factions, eh? They seem like real peaches to work with. Yesterday, Prince Oliver mentioned the possibility of creating a third faction, didn't he? It's been on my mind ever since. If you wouldn't mind, Major, could you tell me more about what he intends? Good question, Ellie. Indeed, truth be told, his goal goes beyond simply remaining neutral. I'm not supposed to be saying much, but I don't think there's any harm in sharing a little bit with the SSS. I suppose metaphorically, you could say the Prince is trying to clear some long-standing barriers. A few barriers in the way sounds all too familiar. Basically, there are irreconcilable differences between the Noble and Reformist factions. Yet, that's not stopping him. He's going to try to have to come to terms anyway, as absurd as it is. The Prince is trying to have the Reformist and Noble faction reconcile. I underestimated just how idealistic he is. Isn't the schism between those two as wide, as the Gorelia Canyon itself? Wazzy, don't be so rude. He's absolutely right. The Prince has been dancing with a monster for over a year now, and isn't afraid to think outside the box. People have been saying much worse behind his back. They see him as a showy, debaucherous bastard prince whose only concern is his hobbies. And that's fine with me. I decided to stand by him regardless. I think that's admirable. It's just as Princess Claudia has said, the prince will always have an ally in Libero. Major Mueller, we may not always be able to intervene directly, but we'll assist the two of you in any way we can. Thank you, Senior Captain. I'm truly grateful. The prince must truly be loved to have so many valuable allies. I don't know if I'd go that far, but there's no question that he has an effect on people. Still, the best thing that could happen today would be this trade conference ended without incident. That's all I want. I'll be counting on you should the time come, Special Sports Section. Senior Captain Shores, I'd love coming into work every day if she were my boss. Wait, what the heck am I thinking? I gotta snap out of it. I'm way too relaxed for such an important post. That man is Major Mueller Vander from the Imperial Army. That woman is Senior Captain Julia Shores, commander of the Royal Guard of Ouroboros Royal Army. What a treat to see two distinguished soldiers in the same place. Actually, they seem to be acquainted with one another already. I wonder if they have some kind of history. We could say that. That must be the Chancellor's room. Intermission will likely be over by the time we're done speaking with him. We should take care of anything else we need to do beforehand. We're halfway home. Now you have to survive the conference's second half. Things are only going to get more difficult from here. I'll be wishing the mayor and speaker good luck. Anything going on over here? Oh. Huh. What an interesting pair. I see, we share the same hopes for the bright men and women that will be leading our homes someday. That we do. What's special about them is their hearts and minds are like a pure garden basking in the morning dew. That's why more and more of... Oh, hello, special support section. Here to join in on our chat. Sure, if we're not interrupting, that is. What were the two of you discussing? His Highness here happens to be on the board of directors at a prestigious military academy in Erebonia. We were just discussing the finer details of his duties. Board of directors? Those are the people responsible for how the school is operated, yes? Got a lot on your plate, don't you? It's only another one of my little schemes to get my name out there. I think the mayor here is doing far more than I am. Mayor Craw is involved too. He simply means as a business partner. The IBC is the Epstein Foundation's benefactor, and it just so happens the foundation is involved in a major test occurring at the academy. I don't mean you've indirectly contributed. That does remind me. I have heard that the Orbital Network tests have begun in the Empire. No surprise the continent's largest bank is holding clout in every country, in some form or another. Right. I think our little talk today was preordained by the goddess herself. What do you say to being a guest lecturer at the Academy one day if the opportunity arises? Though I'll have to warn you that the teacher-student relationships are strictly prohibited. Why does it feel like you're reciting that from perfect memory? You do sound like quite the popular fellow, Prince Oliver. I may have to steal you away for a night of drinks myself once this is all over. I'd love nothing more, my friend. It'll be a rousing good time. It looks like His Highness and Uncle have really hit it off. I'll say, I guess they're more similar than I thought. Huh, maybe I can trust him. I guess it's just paranoia for no reason. Guess he's okay. My bad. Alright. You're the SSS group from the Crossbow Police, correct? His Excellency is waiting for you inside. Don't keep him waiting. Right. Pardon us. He is exuding arrogance. Classic Imperial Army. Overbearing is all Gehenna. Excuse us, Chancellor Osborne. Announcing the arrival of the CPD Special Support Section. Thank you for having us. Do come in. Magnificent view, isn't it? It's fascinating to think that mankind built a structure like this to look down on the world below. We're standing in proof that we finally reached the glory the ancient civilization once had. Maybe so. Are you referring to the ancient Sumerian civilization from over 1200 years ago? Everything I've heard about the ancient civilization makes it sound like they more or less had magic at their fingertips. It wasn't necessarily a utopia, mind you. During last year's Libro incident, a large floating city appeared over the kingdom. The city was constructed before the Great Collapse, yet sealed away by human hands. It was a symbol of both mankind's potential and its hubris. Our hubris, but our potential too. Sounds like you know a lot about what's happening around the continent. Oh, I wouldn't say I know everything. As far as Crossbow is concerned, I haven't discovered nearly as much as that priest, Joaquin Gwinter, did. How do you... It's what we don't know that makes the world so interesting. If you had everything in the palm of your hand, life as we know it would be helplessly mundane. Don't you agree, Wazi Hemisphere? So you've heard of me too. Did you only go as far as to learn my name? I hope you're not trying to expose all my dirty little secrets. Perish the thought. I have no particular interest in doing so. I'm much more interested in the successor to the War God. Yeah? The Imperial Intelligence Division, I take it? Their ability to gather information is second to none. Where are my manners? I'm head of the state of Erebonian Imperial Government, Gileath Osborne. I've heard much about you from Lecter. Here to join me for a friendly chat before the intermission ends. Well then, Chancellor, what is it that you wanted to discuss with us? You already seem all too aware of everything that is happening right now. Don't overthink it. This is merely a polite conversation. Oh, the music cut. There's something I would like to hear your opinions on, however. Our opinions? Yes, I'll be frank. How long do you think your precious crossbow will last? Oh. That's a loaded question, isn't it? On the contrary, it's not out of malice. History tells us that no government lasts forever. Say nothing of the Orbital Revolution, which has accelerated all aspects of our current era. How much longer can a land as contested as crossbow withstand the coming turbulence of this era? I'm not sure. Forever, as long as there are citizens in this state that have the will to protect it. Well, true, having a strong will is important. Resolve, one might say. There are rare instances in time where trends are bucked and the course of history itself is changed. The people are never truly powerless. I don't doubt the potential their resolve can hold. Then you agree. However, what happens when two opposing resolves clash? It's simple. The lesser of the two will be engulfed, fanning the flames of revolution even further. Eventually, that hellfire will swirl and make its way to the surface. All this music is perfect for this conversation. I like this music. Make its way to the surface. The justice and ethics of the past will decay in the searing heat until the world itself is ablaze. Surely you can see it on the horizon? I can understand how, compared to the Empire of the Republic, Crossbow's resolve would seem insignificant. But even if one is smaller, that doesn't make it lesser. It's not a foregone conclusion the larger one will engulf it. Just as it wasn't when Libro repaired the Imperial Army. Oh, that's right. The 100 Days War from 12 years ago. Well played. Resolve is ultimately a question of tenacity. Libro was small, but tenacious. It overcame the shambolic effort the Empire put forward. There's much Crossbow could stand to glean from that moment in time. However, I am unconvinced that Crossbellans hold the same pride and conviction that Liberalians do. I'll leave things at that. Our intermission is coming to an end. And it almost slipped my mind. Don't expect medals from the Imperial government. The nobility becomes even more irksome when awards are given to commoners. Interesting. Consider yourselves fortunate. I rarely see His Excellency in such a good mood. What? Are you kidding me? He seems to have taken a liking to you. I understand it may be a tough pill to swallow, but I suggest you accept what he had to say. Though perhaps it isn't my place to tell you that, given my position. You can't be serious. That man is a damned monster. Right, but we have to take his perspective for what it is, and not let it affect us. Hey Tia, you okay? Yes, I'll be fine. The imagery he was describing was a little too vivid. I got lightheaded was all. I can't blame you. It was like I could feel the flames he was describing breathing down my neck. Calling the Blood and Iron Chancellor a monster is putting it lightly. He believes he holds the whole crossbow in the palm of his hand. Maybe, but I'm not convinced that he called us here to torment us, believe it or not. Same goes for President Rocksmith. I think the interest they've taken in us is genuine, for better or worse. Let's just take it for what it's been, a learning experience. That's one way to look at it. I think this is an aspect of you that we can all learn from. You're telling me, leave it to Lloyd to see the glass as half full. But he's right, there's no use letting this slow us down. Of course there isn't. We can use this moving forward. Now that the intermission is over, our next step is obvious. Let's head back to Dudley and report how the two conversations went. Same day, 4:30 p.m. Just as Mr. Groomwood had predicted, the discourse became more turbulent in the second half of the conference. Chancellor Osborne and President Rocksmith continued to raise question after question aimed at Crossbell's security and future. As the conversation wore on, the looks Mayor Craw and Speaker McDowell's faces became even more sullen and stern. The heart of the problem is that a lone cult was able to cause so much public disorder in a single night, no less. Furthermore, half of Crossbell's state guard fell under their control. Such a failure of security is unprecedented. Be that as it may, I thought we had already fully covered those details. The details are not what is in question. It is the quality of your state's crisis management that we're concerned about. You cannot deny the lives and property of Imperial citizens were threatened during that incident. What do you have to say to that? Hold for just a moment, Chancellor. Reparation procedures already took place regarding the cult incident. Asking for further mirror on top of it will only serve to cast Ereboni in an unfavorable light. Mirror is not the issue either, Your Highness. The Crossbell state government is yet to answer how it can guarantee true security. There is a need to protect the lives, property, and economic interests of all those in and tied to Crossbell. Is such protection guaranteed from a state constantly in political gridlock and susceptible to top-down corruption? Pardon me, but I heard former Speaker Hartman was immediately removed from office upon his corruption coming to light. Crossbell's political system has been shown capable of correcting itself. Wouldn't a new security system suffice? I must disagree, Your Lordship. Surely you don't think it will be that easy. Crossbell's political foundation is prone to corruption by nature. With that said, I, of course, know that Mayor Craw and Speaker McDowell here are outstanding statesmen. However, what would happen to Crossbell without them? How quickly would things regress without their leadership? Corruption exists in every form of government. That is not true of only Crossbell, but of my kingdom as well. That taken into consideration, would it not be best for us to observe whether the Speaker and Mayor can bring political reform during their terms? Pardon me for saying so, Your Highness, but I believe that is rather naive of you. I understand why you would be hopeful. However, Crossbell is much different than a monarchy such as Libro. It is easy to undermine the political system of somewhere that has no central or traditional authority. History has proven that time and time again. That may be true, but if I may, my country also does not have a monarchy, but an honorable republic charter. It was an impressive undertaking by various powers and groups that gathered after our revolution 100 years ago. With that charter in place, our country knows our system can survive and improve, even if it may, at times, too, be stricken with corruption. So you say, but it is not as though our autonomous state law isn't without its own pride and honor. It's true that our state's young history, imperfections in its design have come to light. However, so too is that we have been improving upon them slowly but surely. Mr. Grimwood, may I ask how many additional laws and amendments have been passed by Crossbell's government in the last 10 years? But of course, I do not have the exact figure in front of me, however, I would estimate 50 in total. Just 50 in 10 years? I'm surprised. That's an average of only 5 a year. Perhaps, though, the rate has been increasing in recent years. There were 12 laws passed last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, but admittedly, many of those pertain to additions in finance and the establishment of the Ouroboros network. Regardless, I think it's clear that we cannot assume that a meaningful new security framework would be implemented quickly. As suspected, it would be wise to seek alternative solutions in the interim. I agree wholeheartedly. Well, I'll be. I hadn't realized the two of you had become such good chums. Would you care to also settle the territorial dispute over the Nord Highlands today while you're at it? Haha, point well taken, Your Highness. We'll have to leave discussing that matter for another day. Time is growing short, gentlemen. I'd advise we move on to other proposals. Very well then, as proposed by His Excellency, let's review. This is bad. It's exactly what Mr. Grimwood warned us it would be. The Blood and Iron Chancellor and President are going knives out on Crossbell right now. Is there nothing the Mayor or Speaker can say in objection? They're right that Crossbell state laws has several structural flaws. That's making it harder for grandfather and uncle to deny what they're saying. Maybe, but those laws were built into Crossbell by the major powers during its founding 70 years ago. They're using that to their advantage to force their unreasonable demand. They scripted things to go down like this from the very beginning. As I've told you before, the discourse of the conference itself has nothing to do with us. Keep your heads on straight and see to it that we make it through today. Yeah, sorry about that. In that case, should we begin another patrol? This is Dudley, 1st Division. Emma has something. What? What's going on? Something must have happened. The Red Constellation and Heiwei are both on the move. They've already shaken our surveillance. No way. What? Don't panic. We knew this could happen. Stay alert. I'll keep you posted if there are any further developments. Understood. Now's as good a time as ever. We should begin mobilizing our reserve forces. Damn, this is really gonna go down, huh? What the hell are they planning? Randy. Gotta keep your cool, Randy. We know the Red Constellation isn't the real threat. Right. The brunt of the police force is protecting the entrance of the building. They can't possibly be hoping for a fight like that, can they? Everything we know says that's unlikely. Them moving isn't good news, though. What was that you just said? What's going on down there? Grandfather? Your Excellency, what was that you just said? My apologies, but would you please repeat yourself? I'll gladly say it as many times as you like. Disband the Crossbell Guardian Force. In its place, have the security forces of other countries permanently stationed in Crossbell. That is the most logical course of action. Please wait a moment. Surely you're not forgetting the terms of the non-aggression pact, Chancellor Osborne. Of course not. We agreed not to use force to solve disputes in or over Crossbell. This, however, is not an attempt at invasion. I am merely stating the obvious. A useless pseudo-military organization that loses control and threatens its own people's lives should be disbanded. In practice, the Crossbell Guardian Force is inconsequential when placed before the Imperial or even Republican armies. In front of true tanks, the CGF's armored cars may as well be made of paper. To say nothing of the drain on Crossbell and Mira it costs to maintain. Leave matters of the state security to foreign military forces. That is the best and most cost-efficient solution for a mere autonomous territory. I think that is far too radical of an option. And just how do you propose these foreign military forces be designated? Are you suggesting that it be the Imperial Army? I don't recall saying that. And again, I'm willing to forgive Crossbell's past transgressions and offer the Imperial Army's assistance, if necessary. It's a small price to pay for the sake of peace in Western Zemuria, wouldn't you say? Settle down, everyone. There's no reason to get so worked up. I agree the Chancellor's proposal is a bit drastic. However, I share his opinion that the CGF leaves much to be desired and is wholly inadequate when it comes to state security. Oh, what would you propose then? This is only a suggestion, but I would propose beginning with mass reduction of the Guardian Force enrollment levels. In exchange, Calvar will assume responsibility for Tangram Gate, and Ereboni can do the same for Belgard Gate. That way, both armies will be able to respond to emergencies even here in Crossbell City. Isn't that no better, Mr. President? It's worth consideration. You're an impressive man, President Rocksmith. You managed to be an excellent statesman and leader, all while fending off staunch political opposition. Not compared to you, Chancellor. You're reforming an entire empire while suppressing the influence of disgruntled nobles. This can't be happening. I've heard enough. You are aware there are more than 2 countries participating in this conference, yes? Pardon me, Your Highness. The President and I may have gotten a little sidetracked. Still, the direction of the conversation is obvious. Would you two mind giving us your opinions on the idea? That's terrible. Absurd is more like it. It takes some serious balls to say any of this with a straight face. I have to say it, but it's not as though their proposals don't have any basis. Well, I was hoping things wouldn't come to this. This might be the part where we hope they can hold out just a little bit longer. Now, of all times, could be Dudley. Banning's here. Hey, it's Sergey. Chief Sergey, what's going on? No time, I'll keep it short. Sonya just called me. Radar trackers near Tangram and Belgard were destroyed. Same ones being used as anti-air radar to detect any potential invading ships in Crossbell's airspace. What? She suspects it was the work of the terrorists. I've already filled Dudley in. I'll tell you what I told him. Be careful and get ready. Roger that. What's wrong? Is it my uncle and the others? No, not them. It was... Please, everyone, may I have your attention? Regarding your concerns over security measures, I would like to offer my own suggestion. Oh? I thought you'd be staying a little too. I thought you'd been staying a little too quiet. Let's hear it. What do you suggest? Very well. I was thinking.
方々
Everyone,
下がられよ
get down. Uh-oh. Oh, it's popping off. What? Airships? Oh, shit. That's it right here. Good. There's no way. Is it the terrorists? They came all the way here. Don't worry, the windows are bulletproof tempered glass, but to be safe, I'd ask that you all back away from the window. Are you alright, Your Highness? Yes, I'm fine. That airship just now was a high-speed Rhineford model. Yes, there's no mistaking it. The other was a Verne Company military gunship. Right, this aligns with the reports of one having been stolen.
皆さんご無事ですか
Is everyone alright? Yes, thank the goddess. Never mind that. Where did they go? Good. You should be able to hear me now. Conference attendees, allow me to introduce ourselves. We are the Imperial Liberation Front, and we represent the anti-immigration faction seeking to protect the traditions and sanctity of our beloved Calvard. What? Two terrorist groups active in the Empire and the Republic? We have formed an alliance to topple our respective enemies. Prepare yourself, Blood and Iron Chancellor Gileath Osborne. President Rocksmith, you've met your end. Protect the traditions of our Calvard from the abomination of the East. We will stop at nothing. How foolish. Utter nonsense. Yeah, but this ain't looking too good. Here they come. Oh man, it's getting real now. So two terrorist groups. Oh, there's so many. Oh. Oh, and there's that. Oh man, there's the landing pad they just don't use. They're headed straight for us. Damn it. This is why those blueprints were there. Regardless, we need to have the CGF unit on standby move. What? What the heck? Why would it? What's happening? Not good. There's no response from the panel. Oh, what in Nadius's name is going on? Hey, what about my scoop? Do something, Reigns. What am I supposed to do, Grace? This is far from ideal. Orcus Tower systems must be under their control. It's likely the work of the hacker from yesterday. We have to move. Let's get to the 35th floor and protect the dignitaries. Roger. If the elevator's out, then we gotta head for the emergency stairs. Stairs were this way. Oh man, it's going down. I'm gonna save my game here. I don't even know how long I've been reading. Okay, 43 minutes. I'm not sure when the last time I actually concluded the episode because I had to pause so many times when I was in the middle of one. So we're gonna say this is the end of this episode of The Legend of Heroes, Trails to Azure. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.